Hey guys, welcome back to another instalment of HairTube, and I'm here today with Kiralyn. I've just met her now. She has beautiful blonde hair and she likes it long, so she has asked me if I could reinvent her long hair and make her fall in love with it again. So today we're going to do a beautiful long laid haircut on her, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So we're going to get her over to the basin and we're going to prep her hair today using the So Silver shampoo and conditioner. We're just going to clean it out. Even though her blonde is actually very natural and clean, I want you guys to see just how much of the brassiness you can actually get out with those products. We're going to come back, give her a beautiful haircut, and I'm going to show you a few little styling tips that I've been using lately. So we're going to get over to the basin and get started. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go. Back from the basin, we've done the So Silver shampoo and conditioner. Now I'm going to take the hair out. I'm going to pre-dry it because today we're doing a dry cut on Kiralyn. So I'll see you in a minute. Hair's pre-dried. I often cut hair dry. If you've been following me on my channel for a while, you'll see that I do lots and lots of dry cutting, especially on hair like this. And for the type of shape that I'm creating, for me, cutting it dry is the best, purely because I can identify any naturally occurring elements that are going to give me problems either in the hairline or the crown. I also like to cut really strong base lines when it's dry, and I like to do seamless layering dry, so that's the reason why I've chose to dry it off. We're going to start with cutting our ends. So we're going to do the baseline first. First section, you have heard me say ad nauseum, probably sound like a broken down record by now, but I say that when I'm sectioning hair, as long as you can control it with your hand and you hold it in the comb and your scissors sharp enough to cut through it, then that section is okay. And if you can't, you need to take smaller sections, because what I find is if you over fuss with sectioning, you can sometimes it can be not only inefficient, but you can actually reduce your accuracy because you're fussing around with how many sections you take. So as long as you can hold it between your comb, you're cutting it at natural fall, and your scissors are sharp enough to cut through it like that, then that section is big enough or small enough. I'm going to continue through here. Points to remember is we're working rectangles, so you don't want to cut this out here, you want to hold it inside. Same on this side, so when you're cutting on the left hand side, sit to the right. When you're cutting on the right, sit to the left, and that'll make sure that we keep it within the head shape. So I'm going to continue to do that all the way through, and I'll see you when I'm done. So this would be all time-lapsing now, Jimmy. Chin down a little bit, gorgeous. Perfect, thank you. Chin down again. Thank you.
Rolling.
I've done my baseline in the back. Just going to spin you around. We are using mirrors. Mirrors are very important just to cross-check, just ensuring that your client is centered. Just chin down a little bit. Just going to cross-check this. And then we're going to move on to the sides. It's great. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take this section and split it in half. Could you look in the mirror for me, darling, please? Thank you. Just head into the mirror. Yep. Pull this out of the way. So now I'm going to use probably a quarter of that back section as my guide. And you can see we're just going to connect this here. The reason why I like to do this is to avoid the shoulder. And we'll just repeat that on the other side. This side's so much longer than the other side. Like 5 centimetres, maybe a bit more. Just face me. Still longer. Spin around. No, I think it's good. Alright, let's do the front. Alright, so we need to find the natural parting. So I'm just going to comb the hair all back off the face. And we want it to fall naturally, and then I'll spin you around. So you can see why I like to do this dry. Can you see how much her hairline sprung up? And if it's wet, or if we do it like this, you lose it. But when you allow it to just fall naturally, because we're all about undone hair, wash and wear. That's how it's going to dry and be worn. So that could potentially be, because of how much that springs up, 3 centimetres shorter than what you intend. So that's one of the main reasons why I like to cut hair dry. So we're going to section up this curtain bang, or the first, I don't think it's going to be quite as short as a curtain bang, but it's going to be our shortest point to frame the face. Might be a long bang. So we're going to go quite deep, but we're going to keep the section very, very narrow because we want this to be gentle. So the way I gauge whether I've got enough hair in is I take my first, guesstimation, I think you could say. It's a guesstimation of how much hair I want in there. And then I hold it back and we push it forward. And then I get to see how much is going to come out and whether or not that's enough. And I think it is, because this is all about softness. You don't want to have large amounts of hair falling onto the face. The other reason why starting this way is good, because if your client comes back in and wants her bang trimmed in between appointments, it's very, very easy to find the section because you've used a strong sectioning pattern. So I'm going to spin you around this way so you guys can see the projection. It's really important just to remember the one rule is that the short hair directs the long hair. So if you do that and you cut it, you're actually going to put long hair on top of the short hair. You actually need to make sure the short hair is behind, because what that does is it actually has short hair on top of the long hair, and that's how you get it to push, and it opens it up by making sure that the short hair is on top of the long hair. It'll actually naturally push it off her face. I always start long, so if I do this is way too long. I'm just going to show you guys from the side position. If you hold that you'll actually see that the short hair's here, the long hair's there, and that's actually going to push the hair away. I need to do it much shorter than that. And the other thing that I say is it's more intelligent to use projection to determine the way you want the hair to sit rather than cut it down blunt and texturize it. Let's have a look. Just want to make sure we don't lose our section, so I'll just pull this back in. Just put a little clip in behind. No, I think we need to do a bit shorter than that. Not too much, just a little bit. It's so easy to find your section again to make adjustments. So you need to put a little bit more hair in there. I don't feel it's strong enough. I'm worried it might get lost, but when doing that, make sure you remember this key rule. What I use is making sure that you can go as deep as you want, but be careful about how wide you go, because otherwise it ends up out here next to a jaw, and that's not very flattering. I think that's better. Let's have a look. Yeah. So you could actually almost leave it like that. Our bangs are done, which I think are very cute. And now it's time to create some shape flowing through to the rest of the haircut. So what we're going to do is we're going to do over-directed layering, and we just want to join this to the ends, but we don't want to cut our corner off, so it's very important that we over-direct the hair to avoid that. So if you could just look straight towards me, darling, and I'm going to stand to your side. I'm going to section your hair, but don't turn your head, just try and look straight ahead, because I have to actually get some good tension, so it might feel like I'm actually pulling you to the side, okay? Very important to explain this stuff to your clients so they know what's going on. See my point here? And we just want to join those two together. And we're going to go through a centimetre at a time, bring all that until we run out of hair in the front. I've done the left-hand side, my right-hand side. So now it's time to connect that onto the left-hand side. Just making sure the most important parts of this is to make sure the projection's right and if you're over directing to retain the length, and then when we let go, the corner's still there, we haven't cut it off. Can you just shoot it from the inside here, Jimmy? Just center your head with your body. Yep. We've shaped it around the front, so let's pull it back. Spin you around this way first so I can see. Let's pull it all back and see how it looks. That's beautiful, it just flows nicely through there now. And this provides us, again, it's all about mapping, so this is going to provide us a guide for the back. So we'll spin around this way, and we're going to comb all the hair into the back now. And if you could pop your head forward for me, darling, that'd be great. Too far? Yep, perfect. And where this hair is coming into the back is actually going to be our guideline. Cut. Let's wait till these fucking clowns are finished.
Roll in.
We're going to add some shape into the back of this haircut now. Chin forward just a little bit, perfect. We're going to do some seamless layering, so we want to have all the benefits of having layering, but we don't want to see them. So we want volume, we want to create movement, want to do those nice things, but we don't want to have that classic choppy layered look. So there's my section there. I'm going to spin this way so you can see my projection. And we're going to create ourselves our guideline. I'm going to bring everything to that point. So it's a stationary guideline. We're going to bring everything into the middle until we run out of hair. That's why long combs are really good too, because it actually allows you to keep the hair spread out over the plane of the comb, because you don't want to bunch it in. So you can just put your fingers in behind there and make sure it's not bunched together. You can't use any audio here, Jimmy. You're going to have to time lapse a whole lot.
Yeah, I'll just time lapse this whole thing, mate. Plenty of talking already.
So we've laid it all through there, and you can see the movement, but the beautiful thing about layering it like that is when we want to brush it and wear it straight, you're not going to see all those classic layered lines in it. It's just going to sit nice and seamless, but we can get some volume and some movement in there. Now we just got to take sections, bring that round into the back, and then it'll be time to style. Cut. Sorry about the knots, babe. It's just because I'm combing your hair in so many different directions. There you go. Head back, babe. Haircut's done. Now it's time to do some styling. So shapes there, a little bit of a recap. We did a baseline, then we went and framed around the face. We've done our seamless layering. Let's just give it a little quick brush, because if this is all about wash and wear, this should be able to be worn with minimal styling. So we'll just brush it to try and smooth it some, and then we'll see what it looks like. It was a little bit knotty going through there, especially when I was layering the back, which can be expected. That's not indicative of the condition of the hair, it's more the fact that I'm combing the hair in multiple different directions. So that's got to be expected when you're combing the hair forward, back, left, right, up, down. It's going to ultimately get more, it's going to get tangled. There's not much you can do about it. So let's have a look at this shape. You should be able to see really good shape and form without having to style it too much. I think it looks pretty cute. So we're going to grab an iron and we're going to do some styling. Just going to use a cylindrical wand, or tubular, as they call them in other parts of the world. And I'm just going to do maybe 7 seconds on each section. Let's see if we get enough movement out of that. It's plenty. It's also worth mentioning that I haven't blow dried the hair. It's still just from when we wrap dried it. So if you're going to, for me, if you're going to style the hair like this, I wouldn't go and do a round brush blow dry first and then do this, because you're going to end up with absolutely no moisture left in the hair, and that is a sure way of damaging it. Just going to loosen it up with my hands a little bit and use some smooth setter just to settle down those flyaways. And actually, we want to pull this out a little bit without, we don't want it to be too perfect. The most underutilized tool we have as hairdressers are our hands, especially when it comes to styling. So let's try and just move this into place with my hands, and we'll see what happens. Nice shape there. It's nice soft waves. A little bit of height riser. This is really great for texture, especially in the back. You see me use this a few times in this series of videos. It's actually quite cool just to use it to add some volume, and we bring that airiness out. I spoke in the beginning of this video about we're sort of in this era of trying to make everything look less done. This is a great product for that. We just want it to look airy and fun. That's like poetry. We want it to look undone, airy and fun. I'm a poet, that's funny. What do you think? You like it?
I love it.
Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Look great, you're welcome. It's really, what's really beautiful about simple shape is not only is it time effective in the salon, it's also easy to replicate because we're using very strong defined sections. It grows out really well for your client and they love you because it's versatile in the styling. They can wear it straight, they can wear it curly, brings out a face, perfect length for a body. I think, would you give me like what, 6 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I'm not paying her in the car park either. That was good.
Literally the best style I've ever had.
Thanks, looks great, really suits you. Thanks for coming in. Do you have an Instagram?
I do.
Do you want to shout it out?
Sure, it's Carolyn Turner. Yeah, that's it.
At Carolyn Turner.
Yeah.
All one.
All one.
But it's, can you spell it? It's Keira Lyn.
That's it. Perfect.
Turner. Make sure you go and give her a follow on Instagram. You guys don't follow me on Instagram, why? Like, I'm seriously like struggling to know why. Like, makes me a bit sad. Not really. But it'd be cool if you could follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you think someone may like this video, can you share it so they can see it too? But from us, it's goodbye. Till next time, bye.